Sports.tv presents Tracking Bssac 2020, a look at the island's biggest schools track and field meet, the 2020 Powerade Barbados Secondary Schools Athletics Championship, with your host Michael Jules, Perry Barnett, and Ian Webster.
Tracking Bssac 2020. It's brought to you with the kind compliments of Powerade, the BTMI, Ensure, and Infinity on the beach.
On the eve of the Powerade Barbados Secondary Schools Athletic Championships, we are live here from the National Stadium tracking Bssac 2020. I am your host, Michael Jules, and joining me is Perry Barnett and Ian Webster. Gentlemen, welcome to Tracking Bssac 2020.
It's wonderful to be back. Michael, I missed all the action last year, but this is 2020. Bssac is back, I'm back, and I'm looking forward to the action.
And of course, we do welcome you back, and you'll be right into all of the action. Perry, of course, we're looking forward to some great things this year. What exactly will you be looking forward to?
Well, I am looking forward to seeing these new prospects coming out of NAPSAC into Bssac in both the under 13 and under 15 division. I was excited to see them perform last year, and I'm sure that they're not going to disappoint me as they make that transition into the senior level in Bssac for 2020.
Great. Tracking Bssac 2020, we'll be taking a look at what the Assistant Meet Director, Mr. Andrew Brathwaite, had to say about the preparations for the Powerade Barbados Secondary Schools Athletic Championships. We'll also be taking a look at some of what the coaches had to say about their preparations of their teams for Bssac, and we'll also be looking and discussing some of the athletes who we should be looking forward to great things from the various schools. This event is brought to you compliments of BTMI, Ensure, and Infinity on the beach. We'll be right back.
You got to make the ad. So what I can do, when they tell me that they're playing the ad, when they're playing this shit, I'm going to go watch it at the same time. Okay. So you'll come to me first, and then I'll say, so we had the opportunity to interview the Assistant Director, Mr. Andrew Brathwaite. This is what we have to say about the preparation of what. I can talk a little about the
Activities going on in the
people in the
background.
back. Yeah, people in the back preparing. They got different, last minute work. Right.
You want that on camera as opposed to so you can have the camera?
Yeah, so I can have that ready to look at. We'll all be ready to look at it.
You don't know me, but you can run away. Oh, please, go find you anyway. Lick it down, lick it down, down. Lick it down, lick it down, down.
Don't let AIDS lick you down.
Get tested. Know your status.
You know, we could have get lights.
No time for lunch? With a bottle of Ensure, you get 9 grams of protein, 26 vitamins and minerals, and the calcium that your body needs. For the hectic moments of your life, drink Ensure.
Like drop foot, how you jump, people around the track running, yeah. And we'll speak, we three of us will speak. Come back to the track.
And welcome back to Tracking Bssac 2020. Ian and Perry, as you can see, lots of action here at the National Stadium. The athletes are getting in their fine-tuning, their last-minute preparations. We have some activity at the shot put area, high jump area on the track. We saw some of the athletes going through their paces. And of course, this is necessary as the first zone will get going tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Absolutely, that's the Esther Maynard zone, and this is great to see, Michael. Everybody putting in the work. There's an energy, there's a buzz here. Quantum Leap is here, the track club. I see Gabriel Burnett here, and a number of those athletes, of course, are from the St. Michael's School.
Yes.
And later on, we'll get into a little bit about, the schools that are in the various zones, because they switch them up now.
Yes.
They switch things up, and so we'll get into a little bit of that a little bit later on. But this is good. This is exciting.
Of course.
You can feel that Bssac is in the air.
And Perry, as a coach yourself, you know how important it is to get the last minute details in.
Yes, Michael, it's always good to get your athletes ready. It's like you're fine-tuning or sharpening a knife or sword. You want to make sure that they are ready. They have the game faces on and they're ready to go. You're sitting down the day before, 2 days before, and not even doing any little run-throughs or any little fine work. You find the athlete comes on and they're not quite ready. So I'm glad to see all these athletes coming on and really putting in the work, working on the starts, working on running through the finish line, those kind of things. Those little things that we take for granted.
Yes. Now, apart from the athletes getting ready, of course, the administrators of the event, the Bssac committee, they also have to ensure that everything is ready for this big Powerade Barbados Secondary Schools Athletic Championships. So we had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Andrew Brathwaite, who is the assistant meet director for the Barbados Secondary Schools Athletic Championships. Let's hear what Andrew Brathwaite had to say about their preparations.
My name is Andrew Brathwaite, and I'm the assistant meet director for Bssac. Yes.
Now, looking at how things have been the last, say, 4 years, are you satisfied that come 2020, the product that's being put out there is par excellence, par none, above all, setting the best standard?
We made a commitment about 5 years ago when we recognized that we were going to be struggling with the National Stadium. We made the commitment to improve the product in anticipation of an arena in which we could place the product. So what we've seen over the last few years is the meet get better every year. The highlight for me was the tie that we had 2 years ago with Foundation and St. Michael's School. We've seen the level of competition get better. We've seen the camaraderie among the schools get better. And I think last year, with the reintroduction of the drums and the musical instruments, we brought a new atmosphere, an atmosphere that previously existed, back to the meet. So given all of the limitations with regards to the infrastructure, I am very pleased with what we've been able to do with Bssac over the last few years, and this year will be like no other.
Now, I know the challenge has always been, how do you get the bodies into a space like stadium, especially with the restrictions that have been put in place for the safety of the athletes, for the safety of the spectators, for everyone's safety for that matter. I know that we are not often clued in to certain happenings, but could you give us some insight as to the sort of work that went into ensuring everybody's safety, that you can still come and enjoy what is the premier athletics meet on the island right now?
Once we were given the go-ahead to go back into the stands, we recognized first up that we had to do more to improve security. We were not as satisfied as we could have been with the security product last year. So we have made some changes. We have brought on a new security company, and from the discussions that we have had with that group, we expect that the level of security will be much improved. We have had consultations with the Royal Barbados Police Force, who are fully on board. We will have the perimeter of the stadium secured. We will be using the mounted police, and we will have checkpoints for entry into the stadium, where we keep the public out of the close environs of the stadium. So we're doing quite a bit to ensure the safety of the patrons, both the adults and the children. And we have been in consultation with the supervisor at the National Stadium as well. And he has made great input. He has given suggestions. He has been very accommodating. So given all that has taken place in the last few months, security-wise, I think that you will have a safe meet, just also to allow for the enjoyment to be even better.
How difficult was it getting persons to buy in this year? Because I know for the last couple of years it has been difficult. There's no escaping that fact. But this year, in the face of layoffs in the early or the late end of last year, 2019, a number of companies cutting budgets, you still have corporate Barbados coming on board like before?
But we just had a sponsors event. Up to this morning, I received a phone call from an organization that is willing to come on and sponsor prizes for the Victor and Victorious Lou Durham. The interest from corporate Barbados is there. Yes, we would like more, but the interest is there. We have our partners who have been with us for years, well over 10 years in some instances, and there are new partners coming on stream all the time. We try our best to give them the mileage, again within the limitations and the confines of the National Stadium, to give the mileage that as best we can give. And I think most of our partners are satisfied with what we have been able to put out there, and they have committed not just to Bssac but to young people. Bssac is for young people, so they've committed and they continue to offer their support. As far as the public is concerned, my phone has been going off with persons asking about tickets. The tickets went to the box offices yesterday and they have been going exceptionally well. So we expect the stadium to be packed. You would have heard one of our sponsors just now speak about the fact that her vacation dates are in for Bssac. First up, that's what she looks at first, the dates for Bssac. And there are a lot of persons out there who operate in much the same manner. When you look into the stands, there are the familiar faces as well. There are persons that I have seen at Bssac from the time I was at school, and I'm an old man now, who are still there in the stands offering their support.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to give you the mic. I'm going to take whatever's in your hand. I want you to look into that camera over there and tell Barbadians why they need to support Bssac first of all, why they need to come out to Bssac, support the school spirit and so on.
Without a doubt, we expect Barbados Secondary School Athletic Championships 2020 to be the best event thus far. I encourage all members of the public to come out and support our youth as we start to showcase their exceptional talent and ability in track and field arena. You can get your tickets at Saul Warrings, Saul Spikestown, SO Blackrock, SO Oysins, and Cave Shepherd. The tickets are going fast, so I encourage you to do your best to get your tickets and be at the National Stadium for the zonal and the finals of the Barbados Secondary School Athletic Championship 2020. You can also visit the Bssac website, bssac.org. You can see us on Facebook. We are on Instagram. Everything is there for the public. Please come out and support Bssac this year.
So you heard from Mr. Andrew Brathwaite, the Assistant Championship Director, about some of the things that the organizing committee has planned for a very successful Powerade Barbados Secondary Schools Athletic Championships. Now, Ian and Perry, he mentioned things such as security. Of course, we know the zones. We'll touch on the zones. You guys will be able to tell the viewers who are the zones. Actually, some news coming out that there's a new school in one of the zones, so we'll be able to talk about that. The fact that there are lots of potential sponsors out there. So I think that the athletes will not have to worry at all about some of the prizes and awards they will receive at these championships. But I think generally security is not an issue. What are your thoughts, Perry, about security?
Generally, security is fairly spot on for Powerade Bssac. I like the fact that they're looking at enhancing the security. They're trying to get it even better because it shows they're not resting on their laurels, so to speak. They really have the safety, the interest of everyone, patrons, athletes, officials at heart. So I like the fact that they're looking at enhancing it. Just today we saw the Royal Barbados Police Force, their delegates coming around and doing a site visit along with the stadium manager and stuff. So it shows that they're really, really serious about it. So that is extremely heartening.
And Ian, of course, he spoke about the fact that the ticket sales are going well. Do you anticipate that we'll have a bumper crowd in the stadium this year?
Well, given my absence last year, he mentioned some changes first of all. So let's look at the changes which may help to enhance then the turnout.
Yes.
One of those changes being the drums.
Oh, well, you definitely missed the drums last year, Ian.
The drums came back. And then as a result of the drums came back, those of us, of course, who were in tune with social media, for example, the various schools then began to do these chants among themselves and so on. So there was a type of, rivalry and that kind of thing. I think that kind of ambience, albeit on social media, that really sets the tone. So if that is maintained from last year and comes over to this year, we could very well see a bumper crowd here.
No doubt at all. And I want to get some comments from you guys in regards to the atmosphere at the stadium, the fact that the stands are gone. I know last year it definitely did not deter the crowds from coming. So even without the tops, the roofs, I still believe that we'll have a bumper crowd at Bssac this year.
Yeah, I reckon it should be nice. It should be nice.
I predict an increase in umbrella sales.
Good one, Perry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So we heard it from Mr. Andrew Brathwaite, and I believe that they have everything under control, and it's just a matter of hours before we get into Powerade Barbados Secondary Schools Athletic Championships. Now, we also had the opportunity to speak to some of the coaches, and we're going to hear from Ryan Leacock, who is the head of the Physical Education Department at Harrison College. Let us hear what he had to say about their chances and their preparation for Bssac 2020.
I'm Ryan Leacock. I'm head of the PE department here at Harrison College.
You're coming again this year?
Of course, we're coming to defend that title in the boys, and we're looking for some improvement in the girls.
Tell me about 2019, because they say you look back before coming forward, look to improve on the years past. Tell me about how 2019 was for you.
Well, 2019, we had a very balanced team across the board, from division on the 15s up to on the 20. So following that template, that's our aim, always have a balanced team in the field and on the track.
What are we looking for this year?
Well, we're looking for a very strong on the 15 and on the 17 division. We believe that that's where our major points will come. We have a couple of uncertain boys coming in as well. And we still have Aaron Spencer, who will hold his own on the 20s.
Tell us about the preparation and the planning that has gone into Bssac this year.
Well, we start preparations as early as August last year. Mr. Thorne, the head of the track and field section in our school, he would just his training camps leading into the start of the term. Several of our students are attached to other clubs, distant clubs as well, elite distance. We have a number of elite distance, as Mr. Garnes. So it brings good balance to the team, and having top coaching from Mr. Thorne and Garnes and some students from the other clubs as well.
No, we had a number of athletes over time that we used to look out for from HC, or as you prefer to be called, college, Kolij.
Yes,
who should we be looking out for during the 2020 edition of Bssac?
Well, generally I don't like to call names because we operate from perspective every point counts. So the guy that comes 8th in shot put, and maybe win by a couple of years ago, he won by 1 point. So every point counts. We don't like to pick names out, but you heard me mention Aaron Spencer to begin with. On the 15 boys, although it's a strong division, I don't want to call any names because I don't want to call names and I miss on one name. So, sir, you had an interview, you didn't call my name. We don't want to do that. So I think we're looking for a team effort across the board. As I said, we have the mantra: every point counts and everyone counts.
So we are about 3 years in, I think it is, into this new format of Bssac with the zones. 3-4 years in. There was some pushback from some about how it would work and so on. You've had the opportunity to live it. How has it been these last few years?
It's been fine. I guess it started because you had issues with the stadium and accessibility to the stands, but the format worked out relatively well. I think they had some issues in the first couple of years, but from going, like anything, once you know you work through it and you get going. But the format is fine as it is right now. I think what I would like to see some more. I really zones changing the teams in zones. Because you may not get to compete against a team in. As the middle zone, I think these zones can change a bit more. Have a couple, swap some teams in and out there. Bring a bit of because sometimes you from the results you can see some zones are technically, we say stronger zones are more competitive than other zones.
Because sometimes you're hearing already, oh, I'm looking at this school and I know this school is going to win, but I don't think that necessarily was the intention of the zones. It was to give everybody an equal footing, because I'm seeing the St. George schools, the Ellerslie coming out, schools that the Princess Margaret, for example, schools that you would not normally see on the final days coming out and getting the exposure.
I think that's one of the advantages of the zone. The zone gives some of the schools that are generally not known in the track and field, are not only stronger schools in the track and field arena. It gives them the opportunity to compete and show what they're worth at the zone level. First, from Team College, we expect to defend. Our aim is to defend and to be competitive, of course. To all the athletes, obviously, I wish everyone a safe meet, first and foremost. And at this stage, it's relatively late, but once you put in the requisite preparation, you should be ready to go, and I wish everyone the best.
And we just heard from Ryan Leacock, the head coach of the Harrison College team, and we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Come from a place, we accept every single race. Paradise is we name. Come over and you will fall in love. I should stay, have a special time of the year where we just get away. Most beautiful display. We'll search a million places, travel a million miles to find a vibe like this and have a time like this. You may have a million problems, need some place to ease your mind. Welcome to my place, oh yeah. With arms wide open. This place here is the sweetest place. My culture, you can eat arms wide.
You don't know me, but you can run away. Oh, please, go find you anyway. Lick you down, lick you down, down. Lick you down, lick you down, down.
Don't let AIDS lick you down.
Get tested. Know your status.
No time for lunch? With a bottle of Ensure, you get 9 grams of protein, 26 vitamins and minerals, and the calcium that your body needs. For the hectic moments of your life, drink Ensure.
Welcome back to Tracking Bssac 2020. We're very privileged to have caught up with Coach Gabriel Burnett, head coach of the St. Michael School team. Gabriel, welcome to Tracking Bssac 2020.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, so tell us, how has it been? You are the defending girls champions. You were third in the boys. How has preparations been coming for Bssac 2020?
Preparations have been fairly well. We've had some good sessions. We actually had a practice session this evening after school, and we're going to have our final practice session tomorrow. So things are on track, and we expect to put on a good show.
Excellent. Of course, I know the coaches don't really like to do predictions, but I know you will have an idea of the depth of your team. Do you think that you have the depth to retain the championship?
Oh, definitely. Anytime we compete to win. We don't ever go into championship looking to come second, third, or fourth. Our goal is always to win. Even when Springer were winning the 12 titles straight, we had the mindset that we are going to win this year. So we have that same mindset, and that's what we're expecting to do.
Okay, tell us a little about the arsenal that will be coming to the stadium.
Well, I don't know if I would call it an arsenal, but in the girls, we have a very strong under 15 division. I think everyone knows that. There's no secret.
Yes.
Our under 15 division is extremely strong. We have a lot of depth there. We also have a very good under 20 and under 17 group. So we expect to do fairly well in the girls, and our boys team is well rounded. I think we're going to surprise some people with the boys championships.
Great, excellent. Now, I know you have been with the team for how many years now?
Since 2003.
2003, 17 years already,
Yeah,
Gabriel?
17 years. It was only supposed to be 3 years, but things happen. It's been now 17 years.
And if you look at when Bssac started for you, some 17 years ago up to now, what would you say about the advancements of the championship?
Oh, I think things are going in the right direction. I've seen great improvement. The schools are more competitive. They're more well prepared. Like take St. Michael for example, and I can only talk about St. Michael, but my first year there, we were struggling to be in the top 10 in the boys. We used to fluctuate. 1 year would be 7th, then 8th, then we go to 12th. The girls, I think the worst we ever came was 8th. But then over the last couple of years, the girls have consistently been in the top 5, and so have the boys. So we've built a program, and we have a management team, and we know our strengths, we know our weaknesses, but we all work together to get the best out of the athletes. And I see that coming out from a lot of the other schools. Schools are changing their format and what they do. And it's good for Barbados track and field.
Yes, and my final question for you, Gabriel, what advice would you give to those athletes, up and coming athletes? You yourself, you've been a product of the program. You had a track scholarship. You went to university in the US, so you benefited from a free university education. What would you say to those guys out there now getting involved in track, maybe those who are looking for some advice as far as track and field is concerned?
You just have to be dedicated and disciplined. And basically, once you can get that in, you're going to be fairly good. My college coach, George Williams, I think he's the best coach ever. He always would tell us it's academics, athletics, control social life. And once you stay in that order, because you're there for the academics.
Yes.
Right? If you get that scholarship, it's there for the academics. And then the athletics pay for the academics. So you take care of the two of those things, and then you also have the time for the social life. So if you put things in that order, things will work out well. Excellent.
Well, Gabriel, we want to wish you all the best. And of course, we'll be, as we have been saying all evening, we'll be tracking Bssac 2020 and hope that the St. Michael School can retain that championship and improve on that third place in the boys.
Well, I thank you very much, and we will surely give our best.
Good. Excellent. So that was Gabriel Burnett, head coach of the St. Michael School team, and we will be taking a commercial break. Actually, no. Perry has some news for us.
Yes, Michael, listening to Gabriel speaking as his perspective as a coach, we had an opportunity to run into one of the athletes from Christchurch Foundation and a multi-eventer, Nathan Crawford Wallace. So let's just listen to what he has to say about Powerade Bssac 2020. Let's hear his views.
My name is Nathan Crawford Wallace. I'm 18 years old. I do the high jump, triple jump, and long jump, and I go to school at Christian Foundation School.
Nathan, 2019 was a very interesting year for you. There was Carifta, there was Naka and Kasova, and Carifta and all these other events, but you excelled at whatever you put your mind to. Tell me about the experience in 2019.
2019 was a very positive year. I got to represent my country at the North and Central American Championships in the triple jump, where I placed second. I'm really proud about that performance because I was only triple jumping for about 6 months, and after Mexico, I got the opportunity to go to Maryland, where I broke 2 records in the long jump and the triple jump. I jumped 6.81 meters and 14.40 meters. In December, I also got the opportunity to represent the Barbados under-21 national volleyball team in Martinique at the event in Kosovo, where we won the tournament and I was awarded Best Outsider.
Now, what a lot of people might not know, in addition to the athletics and the field events, you're a magnificent volleyball player. How do you balance the athletics and the field and the volleyball and with the academics?
Well, my mother is a big key. From a young age, she always told me that you can't always have just athletics, you always have to have academics. So when I have gym in the morning, she would be in my ear buzzing. As soon as I get home from gym at 6 o'clock in the morning, she would tell me, "Man, Nate, you gotta go to school, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, remember, do your homework, do your best," and stuff like that. So she's always that person behind me, pushing me to get stuff done.
We are in Bssac season. You did some exceptional work during the school's athletics meet a couple of weeks ago. Tell us about your performances there.
Pardon me?
Sports Day. Tell me how you did.
Sports Day, it was a little disappointing because I wanted to jump over 7 meters in the long jump, but every disappointment is a blessing, and I was able to convert that defeat into qualifying for Carifta at the next meet, which was the Lower Lanes Championships, where I also jumped a personal best in the triple jump and long jump. I jumped 6.94 meters at 15.07 meters, and I'm very proud of that performance.
Now, for some of the athletes that I've spoken to, for them it is all about Carifta, getting to Carifta, but you've been there, technically speaking, with Naka. You've done that. What's on the cards for you? Maybe the Olympics even?
One of my goals for this year is just put everything on the table and try to qualify for World Juniors. I have to jump 15.60 meters, and I'm also trying to push myself to get past 740 and probably as close as 16 meters before I leave and go on scholarship.
Where are you at right now?
Right now, I'm not where I would like to be, but that's because of a little minor knee injury. But when I come out, when I come back over 100%, I expect great things.
Looking to 2020, it is looking to be a very awesome year for most of the athletes we've spoken to. What's on the cards for you?
I would like to qualify for Carifta in the long jump. Jump another personal best in the under-20 boys triple jump, and possibly qualify for Carifta in the under-20 boys high jump.
One thing you haven't been talking about, really and truthfully, has been your track record, and you have a very interesting record on the blue and yellow, on that bit of tarmac that we have at the National Stadium. Are you looking to do any track events, or will it be will the focus be just field this year?
The focus will only be in the field. I don't think, as a jumper, speed is very important, but my main focus is to just compete in the field events and try to get as much points from my school in that area.
I'm going to ask you a couple questions. One, why should we look out for Nathan Crawford Wallace, NCW, or Team Crawford Wallace, as one puts it, at Bssac this year?
Well, as you know, Crawford Wallace is a very hard-working athlete. He always puts his best foot forward, and I hate to lose. For all the athletes out there that in their head they're saying Man, I got to beat Crawford, so I have to beat Crawford Wallace. All I can say is that I'm not an easy person to beat. I will let everyone out there to try their best, get as much points for this school, strive, push yourself to the max to get that personal best, that fast time, try to qualify for Carifta. Just always put your best foot forward so you can get the best outcome possible.
Yes, so there we heard from Nathan Crawford Wallace, one of the outstanding athletes that all eyes will be on. He's from the Christchurch Foundation School, guys. And, of course, he's looking to do some great things. He said he has qualified for the Carifta Games already in the long jump and the triple jump. And, of course, he'll be looking to extend that as he goes into the Carifta Games. However, we'll get back to talk about some of the other outstanding athletes from the various schools. But let's talk a little now about the actual zones. Ian, what's the first zone that we'll get going?
Well, interestingly enough, the estimated zone is starting tomorrow.
Yes.
We're going to get things on the way with the estimated zone, and Christchurch Foundation will be featured in that zone.
So we'll get to see him tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And
along with the Harrison College, Leicester Vaughan School, the Allen School, Courage Parry Secondary School, the Princess Margaret Secondary School, St. George Secondary, and I am expecting great things from St. George Secondary, Dighton Griffith Secondary School, Darrell Jordan Secondary, Parkinson Memorial, Providence Secondary, and Codrington College. Those are all of the schools that we can expect to see tomorrow in the estimated zone.
And of course, they'll be going for 2 days.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Tomorrow and Wednesday.
And Perry, that next zone?
Yes, the Frank Blackman zone. Interestingly, we just spoke to Gabriel Burnett. St. Michael's School is going to be spearheading their attack there. Y'all Springer Memorial. This is going to be interesting, that girls' battle.
Yes.
St. Leonard's Boys, the Law School, Queen's College, Commonwealth, Alexandra, Frederick Smith, Ellerslie. You also have Graydon Seeley. They're looking pretty sharp coming up. Grantley Adams will be doing some good things as well, improving. The Ursuline Convent, St. Winifred's, and we're going to welcome Derek Smith Secondary School to the mix as well. Their first time outing here at the Power Aid Bssac. So we welcome them, and you'll see what they have to offer.
And of course, that zone is going to be on Thursday and Friday.
Thursday and Friday.
Great. So after the zone meets then, we look forward to, of course, the championship event, another 2 days that will be coming up on the 18th and the 19th of March. And right in between there will be, of course, the little ones with the knapsack final. Always exciting, knapsack. But this is the Power Aid Barbados Secondary Schools Athletic Championships we're talking about. When we return, we'll be looking at some of the outstanding athletes, some of the names, some of the athletes to look forward to from the various schools, and we'll talk about that when we come right back after this break.
Come from a place, we accept every single race. Paradise is we name. Come over and you will fall in love. I should stay, have a special time of the year where we just get away. Most beautiful display. Don't search a million places, travel a million miles to find a vibe like this and have a time like this. You may have a million problems, need some place to ease your mind. Welcome to my place, oh yeah. With arms wide open. This place here is the sweetest place, my culture you can get arms wide open. Promise you'll never be the same, show you how we don't celebrate. Jump all around and jump with us, get all around and jump with us.
No time for lunch? With a bottle of Ensure, you get 9 grams of protein, 26 vitamins and minerals, and the calcium that your body needs. For the hectic moments of your life, drink Ensure.
So we are on the last leg, literally, of tracking Bssac 2020. Gentlemen, you know how important that last leg is in a relay.
Whether 4x1 or 4x4,
Yeah.
always important.
Yeah, so we just found out that the qualifying period for the Carifta Games, these athletes will have an opportunity to actually qualify for the Carifta Games, and that will be only at the zone meets.
Yeah, and I find that particularly interesting. That it's only the zones and it doesn't actually carry on or carry over into the finals of the championships. The only rationale I can come up with is maybe they want to encourage athletes to put in their best performances at all times.
Well, actually, I think Perry has the answer to that.
Does he?
Yes.
I believe the cutoff
There you go.
period
cutoff
for
period.
qualification for Carifta is going to come before the finals
Yes.
of
Okay.
Parade
Okay,
Bssac.
okay. That is
Yes,
fair.
and it is important that the organizers adhere, and actually the Athletic Association of Barbados adheres to that cutoff period, because as you know, with Carifta being a major event, the names have to be submitted, all the dates of births, etc. So there must be a cutoff period where the teams are named and all that information be sent
Submitted.
forward, yes, in a timely manner. But so therefore we will look forward to some good performances from the athletes, knowing that they have another opportunity to qualify for the Carifta Games. I believe our under 17 and under 20 athletes especially, we'll see them pulling out all the stops. And talking about athletes, guys, there's so many we can talk about from the various schools.
I'm
And
excited to see Layla Haynes.
oh yes, so Layla Haynes from Harrison College, she has already met the qualifying standard for the Carifta Games. She has set a new national record in the 1500 meters.
Wow.
So we should be seeing her in action, probably running the 8, the 15, and the 3000 meters, I believe.
Outstanding.
Yes. Savion Hoy is another name that comes to mind, flying the flag of the Lester Vaughan School. We'll probably see him in the 4, 8, and 1500 meters.
Yes, speaking of Lester Vaughan, Haley Manuel Turney.
Yes.
He's looking to book another spot on the Carifta team in the sprint hurdles as well. He's looking very sharp.
And Gabriel Burnett talked about his under 15 team, and there's no doubt that is a team to watch. We have the likes of Samaya Dell, we have Sky Spencer Lane in there. Who else? Jazara Holford. That's a wicked combination there in the under 15 girls.
I remember those young ladies from the under 13 division when I was here 2 years ago.
Yes.
And it's good that he still has them involved and they're healthy, ready and rearing to go.
Yes. And of course, all eyes will be on Rhea Hoyt in the under 20 girls category. She will be representing the St. Michael's School.
We have Jamarco Gill of St. George Secondary as well.
Yes.
He's looking very good over the ones and twos.
And apart from Jamarco, I think 3 persons to look out for, 3 males. We have Jamarco. We also have Ayalfa Ned.
Oh, yes.
And he's one to look out for in the hurdles.
Yes.
And then there's a youngster, Spencer, who competed in the under 15 category. I think that's a guy that all eyes will be on for the St. George Secondary School. And I know, Ian, you're very keen to see if the St. George Secondary School can come up in the rankings.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been hearing great things coming out of St. George Secondary. I was privileged to see something a few nights ago in studio that I can't really talk about. I don't want to give too many secrets away, but these guys are serious about what they're doing at St. George. They're really motivating the students.
Yes.
And I am excited for that school and for what's happening there and to see what they will do at Bssac 2020.
Yes, and of course, Aaron Spencer, you heard the coach talk about Aaron Spencer from the Harrison College. He should be factoring in the 400 and the 400 meter hurdles. And we also have from the Lodge School, Jamula Eswick. He'll be one to look out for as well in the 400 for the under 20 boys. Now, we also have a guy by the name of Mikai Griffith from Coleridge and Parry School. That's another youngster that all eyes will be on. Of course, Nathan Goddard McCarthy from Combermere. And I think when we start to talk about Combermere, there's a buzz around that Commonmere might be one of the schools to be factoring in the championship. What do you guys think about that?
Go ahead.
I can say that they're going to have a very strong under 13 girls division, and they have the twins from Knapsack, the Applewhite twins.
Yes,
they're there, and also in the under 20, Rakita Fagan. She's gone there from Dayton Griffith going into sixth form.
Yes.
So and she's been looking sharp from last year.
Yes.
So I'm really excited to see her really help show up the Commonmere School females division.
Yes.
What about the past champions? For example, the Spring Memorials, the Christchurch Foundations, and so on.
Well, you know, Springer Memorial always, I think they don't necessarily have superstar athletes, but one of the tricks about, if I could say a trick, to being up there in Bssac, you must have two athletes who can qualify for those finals. Once you can get two athletes in there, anything goes at that point in time. So I think that has been the little secret to Springer being up in the top three most of the time. They always have two girls who you see factoring there.
I realize they've been doing a lot of work down at Usain Bolt Sports Complex. A lot of the girls have been going down there and training on afternoons with their coaches, and they've been putting in the work. So even though we may not be seeing a lot of them here at the stadium, they have been putting in work. So maybe that's their strategy, that strike from the dark, so to speak.
Any predictions, Michael?
Well, no, I can't. I will not predict. What I will say is I am looking forward to seeing, these athletes we call. There are a lot more we can call. Obviously, we don't have the time to call all of them, but I'm looking forward to seeing some great performances. You know that I like to see records broken. Having records broken tells me that the athletes are doing better and better. They're improving, and how much further these athletes can go in the various disciplines. So for me, I am looking forward to seeing many Bssac records broken this year.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so we will now be winding down tracking Bssac 2020. So I'm just going to ask you guys for your final thoughts as we prepare for the Frank Blackman Zone tomorrow. What are your final thoughts,
My
Ian?
final thoughts, really, I'm expecting excitement. I'm expecting excitement in terms of the fans. I'm expecting excitement on the track. I am anticipating this Bssac. I have missed it, and I don't want to miss anymore. I just want to enjoy Bssac 2020. So I'm just waiting to see how the chips fall.
Well, in that case, Ian, make sure that you do your doctorate in Barbados.
What is this?
Perry, your final thoughts?
Looking forward to the Estimator Zone tomorrow, starting things off tomorrow. I'm sure they're going to go off with a bang with Christchurch Foundation. They're going to come with their game faces on, and the rest are just going to be coming at them. They know once you're at the top of the table, you have a bullseye on your back. And I'm sure that these athletes are not going to disappoint us with their performances. So I'm very excited. I want to see records being broken in all the zones. I want to see these athletes giving the Athletic Association of Barbados too much choice dilemma. Just qualifying, just meeting the qualifying standards. It would be a great sign for Barbados track and field.
And the thing is, Perry, as you said, if we have loads of athletes meeting the qualifying standard, I think it will speak volumes to the work that the coaches are doing, to the dedication of the athletes. And for sure, I would love to see a packed plane going to Bermuda with about 60 athletes representing Barbados. So, on behalf of Perry Barnett, Ian Webster, and, of course, our sponsors, BTMI, Insure, and Infinity on the Beach. Looking forward to that great lunch from Infinity on the Beach. I am Michael Jewell signing out for Tracking Bssac 2020. We'll see you tomorrow.
Come from a place, we accept every single race. Paradise is we name. Come over and you will fall in love. I should stay, have a special time of the year where we just get away. Most beautiful display. Go search a million places, travel a million miles to find a vibe like this and have a time like this. You may have a million problems, need some place to ease your mind. Welcome to my place, oh yeah. With arms wide open.
No time for lunch? With a bottle of Ensure, you get 9 grams of protein, 26 vitamins and minerals, and the calcium that your body needs. For the hectic moments of your life, drink Ensure.
Sports.tv presents Tracking Bssac 2020, a look at the island's biggest schools track and field meet, the 2020 Powerade Barbados Secondary Schools Athletics Championship, with your host Michael Jules, Perry Barnett, and Ian Webster.
Tracking Bssac 2020. It's brought to you with the kind compliments of Powerade, the BTMI, Ensure, and Infinity on the Beach.